This is your Executive Chef Rich Crisanti, and I'm here today to share some of those great holiday recipes that you all like to cook with your families. During these unprecedented times, we were unable to do any cooking classes, and that's why I'm here today, so I can share these recipes with you, and hopefully you'll use these recipes on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. We're gonna do two recipes today. We're gonna do our roasted turkey, whole turkey, and then we're also going to prepare a prime rib roast. So we're gonna start out with our turkey. In the recipe that is attached to the email, it tells you to brine your turkey for 24 hours. The reason we do this is so we can have a really moist turkey. Nobody likes a dry turkey. So in this container, we have 2 gallons of water. We have 1.5 cups of kosher salt. We have 1 cup of brown sugar and 1/4 cup of black peppercorns. We put the turkey into the liquid. We refrigerate it for 24 hours. And then we come to this point where we're gonna take it out of the brine and season it with our herb butter. And we're gonna take it out of the brine. We'll put it into this roasting pan so we don't make a mess. And this is a 28 to 30 pound turkey. I like to dry it off a little bit. I also like to make sure that I spray the pan on the edges, because a lot of times the leg or the wing will stick to the pan. Next step will be our herb butter. We're gonna take our herb butter right here. We start out with room temperature butter. The recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of butter. If you want to cut back and only do 1 pound, that's fine. We like to use a lot of butter in the actual coating that we put on. We're going to put it under the skin and over the skin, and this adds a lot of flavor, and it also will help to keep it nice and moist. So we have our next item is going to be 1 teaspoon of black pepper. We're gonna add some Italian parsley, about 2 tablespoons. We have some fresh thyme that we chopped up. We have just a little bit of garlic. I like to add that in, and fresh sage, and then a little bit of salt. And then I'm gonna take my rubber spatula and just mix that all together. It's really easy because the butter has been out room temperature and soft, so it works a lot better. Even if you take it out 2-3 hours before, because you want to be able to work it like this and have it really soft and not have to use a KitchenAid mixer. You don't really need all that equipment just to do herb butter. Okay, so that's our herb butter. Really quick, really easy. The hardest part of this recipe is to have to chop up all your fresh herbs, okay? Then what I like to do is I like to take my hand, stick it under the turkey and kind of free up some space in here under the skin. And I do it on both sides of the breast. It has some connective tissue that needs to be freed up. So I free up both sides, and then I take some of my butter, and I'm just doing it by hand. I take the butter and I take it and I stuff it under the skin. And you don't have to worry if it comes on the top part, because we're also going to put butter on the top of the skin. And I push it to the back part, and I push it to the middle, and then obviously I want to have some herb butter on the front. Okay. And then we put extra butter on the top. And as this goes into the oven, it melts down into the cavity and adds a lot of flavor to your turkey, okay? So I rub a little bit on my legs there, just like that. And that's the preparation for the turkey. At this point, then we take it, we like to cook it at 350 degrees, place it in the oven, and then from that point, we like to cook it to 165 degrees internal temperature. And when I check my turkey, I usually check it right back here and put the thermometer all the way in to check the temperature. And I'll show you that after the turkey comes out of the oven. And now we're back with our finished turkey. Wanted to also demo for you how we check the temperature of the turkey when it's in the oven. We take the thermometer back here on the deepest part of the turkey breast and we push it all the way in, just like that. And we want to cook it to 165 degrees, take it out and let it rest on the counter for at least 20 to 30 minutes as well to let the meat relax. We also served it with some tri-colored new potatoes, some veg, and a little bit of cranberry sauce. Okay, now we're on to our second recipe, which is our roasted prime rib with horseradish cream sauce. I have a 7 to 8 pound rib roast here. It's boneless. Sometimes they sell it bone on. This is a boneless one. And we're going to prep it up with seasoning. I have kosher salt, fresh ground black pepper, and some dry granulated garlic. We're gonna season it up, and then we're gonna roast it in the oven. I usually roast it at 400 degrees for the first 30 minutes. What this does is it seals the meat and sears the meat on the outside, so we seal the juices inside of our prime rib. After that, you're gonna turn the temperature of the oven down to 325 or 300 and slow roast it. The lower you go in temperature, the better off you are, because then you have less shrinkage in the size of the meat. And then usually it takes about an hour and a half, but I've also, in your attachment of your recipe, I've given you a guide for internal temperatures for the prime rib. So that way you can cook it closer to where you want it and the way your family likes it. So we're gonna move forward. I like to season pretty heavily when it comes to a prime rib. So I season it on the top and the sides, and this is our salt and our pepper and garlic. And it's okay if you want to season up your meat the night before and have it in a roasting pan and have it saran wrapped in the refrigerator, and then the next day take it out and roast it. It doesn't have to be the day of. Sometimes it's great to have those seasonings on the meat the day before so they kind of start to penetrate. And then I flip it over and I make sure I season the bottom. And then I'm gonna put it in our roasting pan, and then we're gonna get this going in the oven. So there you go. Then we'll send this off to go into the oven, and then my next part will be our horseradish cream sauce. Horseradish cream sauce is very, very easy to make. It's really mayonnaise, sour cream, raw horseradish, and salt and pepper. So we'll start out with our mayonnaise. We have 1.5 cups of mayonnaise. Next ingredient is our sour cream, 1/3 cup. Our horseradish. This can vary in the recipe, all depending on how spicy you like it. I like my horseradish cream sauce pretty spicy, but this recipe is just an average heat. So about 3 to 4 tablespoons. Okay, and it's okay if some of the liquid gets in there, that just thins down the mayonnaise. And some salt. And some black pepper. And then we whisk it together. And then I like to present it in a nice bowl on the table, and then everyone can help themselves. And there you go, horseradish cream sauce. And we're back. We have our roast prime rib that has come out of the oven. And as far as a cooking technique, we use a digital thermometer. We cooked our prime rib to 110, 115 degrees, and then we let it rest on the counter for at least 20 to 30 minutes. That's so we have some carryover cooking in the meat, and also we want the meat to relax after it comes out of the oven. And I just wanted to show you a technique in checking the temperature. We use a thermometer and we make sure that we pierce it to the center of the prime rib when we check it. We don't want to check it in the front or the side. We want to check it in the top center to get the most accurate temperature of the internal center. And then we also plattered it up with roasted potatoes, some vegetables, and our horseradish cream sauce that we demoed earlier. That finishes our demo for our 2 recipes. I'm so glad I could be here today and do this for all of you. I miss all of you and I miss having our cooking classes. I hope you and your family enjoy these recipes and everyone has a happy and safe holiday. Thanks so much.